If you're a fan of anime, tabletop gaming, or both, don't miss an episode of Heathendog's Heathen Dogma. Every week, Heathendog alternates between anime reviews and tabletop gaming fundamentals. Watch live and chat with Heathendog every Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time to share your thoughts and your recommendations with him. Now, without further ado, I want to tell you people about a time when I was backpacking as a young man through the Superstition Mountains in Arizona. These mountains are not what you would think of when you think of mountains, lofty peaks capped with snow, covered with trees. The Superstition Mountains are a large pile of angry, smoothed out rocks. Thank you, Doug. Burning with the desert heat by the day and freezing chill with the desert cold by night. And his most famous thing is that at one time a Dutchman was said to have found a mine of gold left over from the Spanish conquistadors who once went through the area, filled with gold supposedly stolen down south from the native cultures which once prized the golden metal. And the greedy conquistadors, not willing to give it to Spain, took that metal with them as they fled from the savages below them, fled for their very lives, clutching the gold with their dying hands, secreting it in the bowels of the Superstition Mountains. A Dutchman once found this gold, showing coins of it to friends and family, not letting everyone know. And later the body was never found. It is said this gold was cursed, my friends. It was on this cursed gold where I backpacked. And I went through these cold nights. The moon shone above me, and I went seeking shelter, my friends, for I was caught without my group, caught without my guides, and the sun was setting fast, and I knew I must find shelter to survive the frigid nights. As I found a crack in the earth, and I squeezed my tiny way through, I could hear the pawing of prints outside of the crack, scraping behind me. I could hear the howls in the distance of the coyotes with the yipping laughter that they have, combined with the mournful sound they do give. Then I peered deeper into the cave, deeper into this tiny crack in the bowels of the earth, where I could smell the metals deep within, my friends. But still behind me, creeping closer, the starving coyote scratched and scratched. I had no light. I had only my basest senses to guide me. The dirt stuck between my fingernails as I scraped and clawed and injured myself just to get one more second of life. But then ahead of me, the cave opened up, and that is where I found Heathendog's Tabletop RPG Fundamentals.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That was a thrilling story. I hope part 2 comes next week.
This is where it ends.
Oh, dang
that's
it.
what I found. Semi-true story.
Semi-true. Today we'll be continuing our discussion on Numenera Discovery. Before I told you the background of the game, the history of the world, the long history of the world.
Yes, long and interesting.
And today we will be talking about the system itself, how it works, everything you need to know before you spend a single point or make a single decision in creating your character.
All right. Wait, what?
I'm waiting for it.
Subscribe.
Oh, you.
Well, you knew
I was waiting for it. You knew I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I know.
Damn it. All right. Well, let's look at the particulars of this game. Came out in October 17th, 2018 from Monte Cook Games. You can get yourself an Amazon print for $46.69, brand new. You can go to DriveThruRPG, get a PDF for $19.99, or you can go on eBay to get a gently used copy of varying degree of gently used for $24.99.
Oh my god! Oh, Gary is a subscriber! Woo! Go, Garian!
I'm not saying it on stream. All right.
Zon gave it to him.
Yes. Let it go. Letting it go. Okay. Now, the system. What you need to know. All right. This is what I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna talk about this is not the D20 system, but the 20-sided die is the most often rolled die in this game. 90% of the rolls are going to be D20. All right. So if it says roll and doesn't give you a die, it's a D20.
All right.
But now we're going to talk about the target number system. Like a couple of other games I have reviewed here, this is not a contested system where the other person's ability will offset your numbers to make you roll higher or lower, whatever. No, this is a set target number. It is a threshold. You must make this threshold. It's all about your rolls, and that's it. And of course, there are pools used. Now, pools are they're a value you have that's a fluctuating amount that you use in game back, and you use to influence gameplay, make rolls easier, uh, make them I don't know, be able to do rolls when you wouldn't normally be able to do a roll at all. You can burn through your pool and do it. And also, your pools are used to determine health and injury. Don't worry, I'm going to explain all that when we get there. And of course, we're going to the stats now. The stats are based on what character type you choose. If you choose a fighter type, you're going to have fighter type stats. Now there is some wiggle room. You know, you get points to add wherever you want, but there's a base framework you have to start with depending on what type or class you choose. Now, let's go ahead and start off right now with the stats. Okay, it's a different take on stats. There's only 3. There's might, which is used for physical feats and attacks, both attacking someone else and being attacked yourself. Speed, that's your raw speed, how quickly you move from point A to point B, and your dexterity, your hand-eye coordination, your aim, stuff like that. And then there's your intellect. Now, intellect is the largest sum. It encompasses intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. If you go with D&D,
All right.
that's the best analogy that used to explain intellect. Now, all of these stats are used as a point pool. They have a certain amount in there. 9 and 12 is average for each one. So if you have a 9 or a 12, you're considered an average stat of might, speed, or intellect. Now, these are points to be spent to enhance your ability during the game. All right. Now, first, I'm going to go over target numbers. If you look at, I have a whole slide here just for target. This is the most important chart in this game. Target numbers is king. Go ahead and full screen it if you haven't already. This thing is important. It goes from task difficulty 0, which means you don't even have to roll. You just automatically win. You just succeed, to task difficulty 10. Now, each difficulty has a target number. Difficulty 1 has a target number 3. Difficulty 6 has a target number 18. Remember, you are rolling a d20. There are very limited circumstances where you get a modifier to your roll. Most modifiers lower the difficulty, which in turn lowers the target number. That's how you increase your chance of success.
Makes
you
sense.
bring down your target number instead of adding to your d20 roll.
And they're all just a multiple of 3, so it's easy to remember.
Yes, it's easy to remember. You just multiply it by 3, and Bob's your uncle. You know it. Now, go ahead and unbiggen, and we're going to talk more about the target numbers. Now, PCs roll everything. The GM doesn't roll anything.
Wait, what?
Yes, the GM rolls nothing. The GM's only job in any roll or any combat or whatever is to mark a difficulty.
Wait, so you're probably going to explain this, so
I am.
I'll wait.
Okay. So the PC rolls for everything. If you are attacking, you are attacking a monster or another character. They have a difficulty, a task difficulty to hit them. It depends on the level of the creature. If it is a level 2 creature, it has a task difficulty 2, which means your target number is 6. If it is a level 9 creature, it is a task difficulty 9 creature, target number 27 to hit. Defending, same thing. If you are hit by a level 4 creature that has task difficulty 4, that means to defend against his attack, you have to roll a 12. And that is everything else. Climbing a slippery ladder, going across a tightrope, across a giant chasm. It's all the PC rolling.
So basically, as a dungeon master, I would say you were attacked by the giant spider. It has a difficult target number of 7, and they would have to roll 21.
Yeah, he is attacking you. You must dodge. So you roll. If you do not make that 27,
21.
then 21, then the spider hits you. And now it's your turn. You're attacking the spider. You roll. Again, to attack instead of defend with the same target number. Now you get to add your bonuses for, say, equipment, skill, specialty, or your I'm gonna get into all that in a minute. But you get to add your modifiers to your attack roll or your defense roll. The enemy doesn't get to do any of that.
Interesting.
Yes, the GM's, like I said, the GM's only job is to decide the difficulty, the base difficulty, which is the task difficulty, plus any modifiers because of situation or environment. It's going to be harder to climb that wall if it is covered in ice, or if it is completely pitch blackout and you can't see your hand and footholds. So it's going to become more difficult.
That's actually a really good, interesting idea.
It is an
hey,
interesting
John
idea.
Sparta, we are having a good night so far. Good to see you.
Thank you. Now, like I said, the PC rolls everything. It's going to be a D20. If you equal or surpass your target number, you win. And the PC can modify the target number with pools. Now I'm going to explain how to do that right now. This is the reason that stats exist. They are themselves pools. Each stat is a pool of points spent altering target numbers. This is called effort. You're expending effort to ease the action. Ease meaning to bring down the target number. As an example, might is spent to lower a climbing target. What is it laughing?
Zahn just gave John Sparta.
John Sparta. Oh, jeez.
Thank you, Zahn.
Thank you, Zahn. Just give it to everybody. That's great.
Yeah, this actually isn't D&D we're talking about. It's a system called Numenera.
Yes, it's part of the Cypher system umbrella of games.
Congratulations.
Now, like I said, if you are trying to climb and you're just jamming your hands into the side of the wall and you're just climbing, that is going to be a might pool. So you can use your pool of might points to ease the target number. Now, 3 points from your pool will lower the difficulty 1 level.
Youch.
Now, bear in mind, this is 1 level of task difficulty, not target number.
Either way.
So when you go down by task difficulty, your target number is being minus by 3.
How many points do I have?
Well, it depends. I mean, like I said, anywhere between 9 and 12 is considered average.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now, every time you want to lower the task difficulty again in the same roll, it only costs 2. So the first one costs 3. Every other one after that costs 2 until you run out of points or you decide to stop.
All right, I get it.
All right, so that's how that works. Now, an edge can lower the cost even more as you level up. And I'm going to get into this during character creation. You get what, depending on what type of character you are, your class, for a better descriptive word, you will get an edge attached to a stat, edge of 1, 2, or 3. Now, what this does is this allows you to use effort to ease your target number more efficiently. Let's say you have an edge of 1 on your might stat.
All right.
Every time you spend points to as an effort to lower your difficulty, you get to subtract 1.
One so total, or so if I lower it by
every time.
So if I was lowering it by 1 point, it would, instead of costing me 3, it would cost me 2. But if I was lowering it by 2 ranks, it would cost me 4
points.
It
would cost you 4. Exactly.
All
right.
right.
That's exactly
Not
right.
3.
Exactly. Yes. It doesn't do it every time you lower, but it does it for the grand total at the end.
All right, that makes sense.
So if you have an edge of 2, it'll take 2 off the total. Then like that.
And then we
go ahead.
All right, yeah, it'd be off the total. So
exactly. So the higher your stat, the more you can lower your target number. For example, let's say you have a might of 5. Well, you can lower your target number to 2 difficulty ratings.
All right.
And then you'll be at 0. You literally can't do it again. If you have a might of 9,
which would be low average.
Oh, sorry. If you have a 10, let's say a 10, just to make it easier. Yeah, you can lower it 1, 2, 3, 4 times and still have 1 left over.
But you want to be careful not to hit 0 in any stat.
Because this is how damage is calculated, also using your stats. So they make these pools supremely important. So when you are making your character, you have to be very careful about these pools. You don't want any pool to be very low, to be below average. Because if any stat pool reaches 0, you are now considered impaired. Effort costs 1 point more per level. Unlike Edge, where it's off the total, no, this is per level you buy. It costs 1 more. So instead of 322, it's 433. All right, and you ignore the benefits of high die rolls. Now, if you roll a 17 or 18, you get a +1/+2 bonus to damage if it's an attack. If you roll a 19, you get a lucky circumstance. If you roll a natural 20, you get a significant extra portion of damage and a lucky or unlucky circumstance for you or your opponent, depending. But if you're impaired, you don't get all these. All right. Now, if you are impaired and you have a stat or another stat go to 0, now you're considered debilitated. Okay. You are reduced to move actions only. You can't do anything else but move. Usually at this point, it's crawl. But if one of those stats that are at 0 is speed, you can't move at all. You're just crumpled on the ground. You're a sack of potatoes. Now, if a debilitated character has another stat go to 0, you're dead. Now, to be fair, the reason I keep saying another stat go to 0, this is you can become damaged without having a pool go to 0. For example, let's say you are poisoned, you are diseased, you are stunned, you are whatever. These will not drain your pool, but they will make you impaired or debilitated. Or possibly even dead if you get it 3 times in a row. Three different qualifiers. If you are stunned, diseased, and poisoned, you're boned. You're done. But if you are diseased and poisoned and one of your stats goes to 0, you're dead. Because you started off before the stat went to 0 as debilitated.
All right, makes sense.
And you're dead. So having a low pool, like, oh, I'll just put 3 points in intellect. I'm a straight fighter. I don't care. No, man, that's not a good idea. Because when any stat pool goes to 0, that's when things start getting real. You don't want that.
You'll just never ever spend intellect ever.
Well, there's psionic damage and other damage that takes away from. Yeah, see, physical attacks take away from the might pool. Okay, mental attacks take away from intellect and social. I'm sure there is a social attack that there is some kind of speed attack that takes away from the speed attribute.
Forsooth, thou art a poltroon. Oh, it wounds.
There you go. Now, the stats, like I said earlier, see my next slide. They are not random. They are based on your character type. Based. Let me give you an example. There are 3 character types in the main book. There is a glaive. This is your basic fighter type. You have might 11, speed 10, intellect 7. Every glaive starts with these stats. There's the nano. This is the guy I pictured. He's the techno wizard type guy. Might 7, speed 9, intellect 12. Mm-hmm. And then there's Jack.
Jack of all trades.
10s. Jack of all trades, exactly right. Starts off with all 10s. Now, every character gets 6 points to distribute amongst any of these stats at the beginning of play, the beginning of character creation, however they want. Okay. Now, personally, I would take all these things under 9 and bump them up. Because, like I said, having read this book, I am deathly afraid of having a 0 stat. It's just a slippery slope to death. That's all it is. Slippery slope to death. So, that is the rules and system of play. Okay, what we've gone through what dice we're going to use, mostly a D20. How to calculate a success and failure and how that happens. Remember, the PC is the one rolling everything. The GM is just doing target numbers. That's his job, his or her job. And then we've gone through some of the character types: the fighter, the techno wizard, and the everyman. Not everyman, but the jack of all trades. I can do pretty much anything. Now, next time we're going to actually make a character, and that's when we're going to go through skills, traits, types, and focus. Types are classes, and focus is what you are specializing in your class. Like, for example, a glaive is a fighter, sure, but are you a ranged fighter? Are you a polearm fighter? Are you a small weapons fighter? Are you a hand-to-hand fighter? This is where your focus comes in. And this, even though there are only 3 character types, you can drill down deeper using your focuses and your skills to make your character a little more diverse than you think. Not a lot more diverse, to be fair, but more diverse than you initially think, having only 3 classes. And of course, then there's the equipment and what we're going to do with attributes. I mean, we have 6 points, right? So let's figure out how we're going to do them and how that's going to best work with our point pools.
All right, makes sense to me, I suppose.
There you go.
Or at least
And
it will soon.
It will. Now that is the quick and dirty on the system. I'm sure people have a lot of questions, and if you have questions, please put them in the comments below. Put them in chat. Put them in the comments, and I will answer them. It would take too long to fully flesh out the entire system in this one segment, but this is the quick and dirty. And if you have this in mind, you'll be able to make your character with some knowledge. Now, what do you think of this segment? What are your thoughts on the Numenera system? I mean, Garthon says it could be interesting. It could be. Really, I would have to see it played to have the final verdict on how it goes. I have a feeling that until people get the hang of it, it's going to be a little clunky.
Also, you didn't go into a lot of like how the system works. Like you were telling me other stuff, but that's for a different conversation.
Yeah, creating the character, the equipment and skills. Their main thing is to lower target numbers. Really, very few things. Like I said, very few things in the system increase your roll, give you bonuses to your D20 roll. 99% of the bonuses in this game that a player character can get is lowering the target number. So you're almost always stuck with that straight up D20 roll. You just want to lower the target number as much as possible to advance for success. And after I'm done with Numenera, what do you want me to do? Max Liao has an idea. If no one else has an idea, we're going to take his. I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's a surprise. But if you have any suggestions, go ahead and throw them in chat, throw them in the comments below, or go to Discord, go to Twitter. You know, if you ask a question on Twitter, I swear to God, Todd will tell me.
Yeah.
And I will answer. So that's going to be good. Tunnels and Trolls. That's Legion of Myth saying that. I don't know. That's Garthon wants me to do Tunnels and Trolls. That's a little too old school for me. It's before my time, and I'm old.
But you can actually run out of energy and not be able to move. If your armor's too heavy.
That's great. I get it.
First edition. Flying Buffalo Games. All right.
There you go.
Thank you, Heathendog.
You're welcome.
And you can watch more Heathendog on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. And you can join for full streams of anime, comics, games, members only chat and giveaways, monthly Q&A with Legion with accounts towards our Patreon giveaway goals, and you can be a part of those giveaways, my friend. If you want more Heathendog, check out his anime on the stream segments, tabletop gaming fundamental segments, his team-ups with that Garthon cat and that slick, awesome Elgarian dude. And also watch selected video game streams. Thank you, Heathendog.
You are welcome. Everyone, have a good day.